So in this part we will be studying about the sliding window. So sliding window is using the technique of buffer. What is this buffer? So a buffer is a set of memory locations that can hold packets at the sender and receiver. So you should clearly understand it is not going to generate the packets, it is just holding the packets at the sender and the receiver. Flow control can be implemented normally using two buffers, one at the sender transport layer, another one at the receiver transport layer. So using this buffering technique, we will be using for this buffering technique, how this buffer, that is we are having a buffer at the source sender side and a buffer at the receiver side. So here in this buffer in the transport layer, we are using a technique known as sliding window. So you should understand sliding window is somewhat similar to the windows that are having the sliding technique. So whenever you want to open something, how much is required only is moved. The moved part is showing the open one, the remaining will be the closed part. So how much is required or how much when it is open, that much is space that is given open, remaining will be closed. So sliding window is having the same principle. Because of this name only, the name is given as sliding window. So the buffer is represented as a set of slices called sliding window that occupies part of the circle at any time. So if you take a circle and divide it into n number of parts depending on your needs, each slice will be telling us a buffer. The slices are nothing but the buffers called the sliding windows. So here you can see how it is. So this is the one of the example for a sliding window. So as we told, if you take a circular section, the circular section is divided into some pieces of information. Each piece of information is considered as a buffer. Now the window, sliding window, here you can see in the, please understand, here in this diagram you can see 0 to 15 numbers we have given, the sequence number are given. For each and every slice one number is given, that number is 0 to 15. So the whole circle is divided into 16 sections. So each section is given a sequence number as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 15. So blue color, whatever is colored in blue color you can see, that is the sequence number of the first outstanding packets. That means if 4 packets have been sent, in the, you can see when the 4 packets have been sent by the sender, when as soon as it sends a packet, it makes the color to be blue, that is it is indicating that is already sent. Now for this example, 0, 1, 2, 3 are the packets that have already been sent to the receiver, that is sent. The packets that are sent are colored in blue color. Sequence of the next packets to send, that is what are waiting to send in the next are 4, 5 and 6. These 3 packets are waiting and they are yet to be sent. Now once this packet are sent to the sender, now here 5 packets have been sent. When 5 packets have been sent, that is blue, 4 has also become blue in color. That is second step. That is your window color has changed. That is it has been changed. That is it is indicating that the color that is already sent, whatever is sent is being colored in blue color. That has to be sent, that is kept as empty. In the next iteration, 7 packets have been sent. That means 0 to 6 everything has been sent. Only now 7 is remaining. The packet 0, now when the packet, now here you should understand, whatever was written in 0 to 6, that is you are having the size of your window. Here the size of the window is taken as 7. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 everything are there in the window, sliding window. Once your window capacity is 7 packets at a time. Now already you have sent the 6 packets. Now you want to send the 7th packet. When you have to send the 7th packet, if I am getting the acknowledgement from the receiver, your window has moved. That is from 0. Now you can see in the diagram in the C, 7 packets have been sent, window is full. That is 0 to 6 everything is being sent. Now the window is full. Window capacity here is 0 to 6, that is totally 7. 7 packets have been sent and window is totally full. Sequence number of the next packet to send is 7. Now 7 is in the waiting list. Now still you didn't get the window. Now packet 0 has been acknowledged from the receiver. That means 0 is been successfully delivered to the destination. When I get this acknowledgement, the window has moved, the sliding window has moved from the position 0 to 1. That means now the 7 can be occupied in the window. So whatever, sliding window is nothing but the concept. Now we are having a capacity of the window of the size 7. It is like a bus, or you can take a that is having the capacity. Now my bus is having the capacity of 7 seats. Now if 4 seats are filled, that means it is filled, that is indicated by the color. If something is left empty, the new person can come and sit there. If all the 7 seats are filled, then whoever has to board the bus cannot board the bus, because bus is full. If anyone gets out, that is first one who has entered the bus, that is 0 packet, if it gets an acknowledgement, that will be giving the empty. So your window will be moving from 0 to 1. So it is giving the empty space. Now window 1 seat has become empty and you can get occupied in that seat. So sliding window concept is this one. So you should know what is the size of the window and the window movement. When the packets are sent, it will be having the color, and when the packets are getting acknowledged, the window will be moving in the circular direction. For our easiness, we have used as a circular motion. So linear sliding window can also be in the linear format. Here you can see this is more easier for us to understand. Same example what we have discussed there. Here for sliding window, 4 packets now the size of the window is 7. 4 packets have been sent, so it is colored in blue color. When the 5th packet is sent, the 4 is also getting blue in color. So when all the 7 packets are sent, the window is full, that is all packets have been colored. So when I get the acknowledgement for 0, it will automatically move from the 0th position to the 1. So 7 can also be accommodated. So this is the principle of the sliding window that is used in the transport layer. So in the transport layer, very important, we have to study about the congestion control. Congestion control is nothing but it refers to the mechanism and techniques that control the congestion and keep the load below the capacity. Reliable versus unreliable. Reliable means reliable protocol guarantees successful data transmission by implementing flow and error control mechanism. Unreliable means it doesn't guarantee any successful transmission of the data. It doesn't implement any error control or flow control mechanism. So here congestion control refers to the mechanisms and techniques that are control the congestion and keep the load below the capacity. So in order to keep it the information in the load, we are using the congestion. So in the transport layer, again we have to see 2 things. We are having connectionless services and connection oriented services. As we have discussed previously in the module 3, connectionless means if there is no fixed permanent path, if there is no routing fixed path used, then that service is considered as connectionless. It can use any of the routers and any of the routing path to reach the destination. Connection oriented means we have to establish the connection between the source and data, then only we have to transfer the information. So here you have first stage is you have to establish the connection, then you are doing the data transfer, then the connection is released. Once the transmission is over, then the connection can be released. So here very important, we have to set up the connection between the source and the destination, then we are sending the data transfer, then the release of the connection will be done. So here in the transport layer, we are having 3 different protocols, that is UDP, TCP and SCTP. So UDP is using the connectionless service and SCTP and TCP are using connection oriented service. That is, it will be using with the fixed path, then only the data transfer will be taking place. So UDP is using a connectionless service. So these 3 protocols are being discussed here. So connectionless service means you can see here the diagram given here. Connectionless services, client process is there, client transport layer is there. All the information from the process are coming to the transport layer. All the packets without any sequence number or any path, it is directly going to the destination. So here in this example, we have sent message 0, message 1 and message 2. in the transport, after the communication, message 2 is delivered out of order. That is, there is no order for receiving the information in the connectionless services. It can go in any order, it can reach the destination however it is required. So in the connectionless services, as you can see, connectionless service means the source process needs to divide its message into chunks of data of size acceptable by the transport layer and deliver them to the transport layer one by one. That means whatever the process has been there in the client process, that should be made into small pieces of information and given to the transport layer. This transport layer will be making packets of the information and sending it to the receiver. When a chunk arrives from the application layer, the transport layer encapsulates it and packets. That is, whatever the information received chunk of message from the application layer, the transport layer of the sender will make it into a packet. That is, it will attach the port number and it will send it to the receiver. So here no connection establishment prior to data transfer. That is, no establishment of the connection. It can use any path for sending the information. The packets may be delayed or lost or may arrive out of sequence. This is not a problem in the UDP connection. So here in this message you can see message 2, first message 0 is received, then message 2 is received, later only message 1 is received. So messages are received by the receiver in the out of order. When you take the FSM for the connectionless service is, FSMs for the connectionless transport layer is established, both ends are always established in the established. That is, nothing is need to be told to be ready, steady or something. Every time whatever information it is getting, it will be just passing to the other side of the network. So it is just sending the information whatever is receiving. So here every time it is in the established mode. That is, both ends are always in the established state. That is, it is ready to get the information, and just here no flow control or no error control will be used in the connectionless service. Whereas if you go for connection oriented service, you can see the diagram. The connection oriented service means the client and server first need to establish a logical connection between them. The data exchange can only happen after the connection establishment. After data exchange, the connection has to be toned down. So here very important in a connection oriented service. That is, as I told you, UDP is using connectionless service, TCP and SCTP are using connection oriented service. So in a connection oriented service, very important, there are 3 stages. First stage you have to do the connection establishment. Second one, it is the data transfer. Third one, it is the connection tear. Once the data transfer is over, then you have to tear down the connection. So here whenever the same process starting, it is same. So whenever the information is coming from the client process, it will take the chunks of information and make it into a packet and keep it at the transport layer. Before sending the messages to the other side, it will create a connection establishment. That is, it will make a connection routing path will be designated by the source to the destination. Once the connection is established, then the packets have been sent by the sender to the receiver. Once the receiver receives all the packets and it will arrange it in the order, then it is delivered to the above application layer, and after this data transfer is over, the connection teardown is also taking place here in the connection oriented service. So here there are 3 stages. First stage, you have to establish a connection. Second stage, after the connection is established, you have to send the data packets of information. Once the packets of information is being transfer is done, then the connection is tear down. That is, you are removing the connection. So this is the phases you can see. First, connection open request is sent, then you are going to establish a connection. Once the connection is established, then the messages have been taken 0, 1, 2, then the packets have been sent to the data transfer is taking place. Once the data transfer is over, it will send a request message to close the connection. So whenever you get the request from the receiver to close the connection, then you are going to do the connection tear down. So these are the steps how it is being doing the connection oriented service. So this is the FSM for the connection oriented service. So whatever we have told in the algorithm, same thing it will be taking place here. So a connection open request accepted from the application, send an open request packets to the order. So when it is closed, that connection request will be closed. When it is open, it will get the information wait one, that is whenever acknowledgement is coming, then do nothing. So likewise you are seeing the FSM, it will go to the whenever there is required for the information to be sent, the connection will be opened. Then once after the transmission is done, the connection will be closed. So this is the FSM for the connection service represented as FSMs. So next video we will be seeing about the protocols in the transport layer. I hope everybody understood what is the connectionless, because this connectionless and connection oriented are very important for you people in the lab. So in lab, whatever experiments we are doing, we have to use both UDP as well as TCP connection for sending the information. As given information, UDP is a connectionless service. Connectionless means there is no establishment of the path before sending the information. In connection oriented service, there is a path established before sending the information. So next video lecture we will be studying about the transport layer protocols. Thank you.